about early 80s.
That was
It's, I'll show it.
We are ready to call the meeting to order. Madam Clerk, would you please read the statement of compliance?
The notice requirements of the Open Public Meeting Act for this meeting have been satisfied. A copy of the annual meeting notice was sent to the Atlantic City Press, Star Ledger, posted on the bulletin board in the municipal building, the municipal website, and filed in the office of the municipal clerk. Please turn off all electronic devices.
Thank you. And can we all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance led by Commissioner Blumberg?
attention, salute.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Joanna, will you please call the roll?
Mayor Becker, Commissioner Amadeo,
Here.
Commissioner Blumberg,
I am here.
May I have a motion to approve the minutes of the December 16th meeting?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
Mayor Becker, Commissioner Amadeo,
Yes.
Commissioner Blumberg.
Yes.
Okay, we're on public comment. Well, no, what we'll do is we'll start with department head reports. So I'll start at the left side. Chief, you ready?
Yes, Chief Adams is not present. Deputy Chief Pat Armstrong here. In the last 60 days, we had 207 incidents, calls for service. Everything else running smooth.
Great news. Thank you, Chief. We'll jump to the other side. Chief Hankinson?
Yeah, I'll just be very brief. I just wanted to, while I have the opportunity, to recognize that recently we lost a longtime employee of the city of Margate, Jim Catton. He worked for the police department for 34 years. He was our records clerk. He passed away after a battle with COVID. He was a good person to work with, and he will be missed throughout the city. And he was a good man, and I personally had a daily conversation with Jim, so it's something I miss every day. And those of us who had interactions with him knew Jim. He was a unique individual, but his heart was always in Margate, and he would do anything for this town. So, yeah, he was a family man and a good employee, and he will be missed. So, to everybody here, take care of your families, stay safe, and stay well.
Totally agreed, and I apologize. We should have started the meeting with a moment of silence in memory of Jim Catton, a long-time dedicated employee and a good friend to many of us. So I would like to call for a moment of silence in remembrance of Jim Catton. Thank you. May you rest in peace.
That's all I have. Thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you. Roger, what's new in planning and development?
Lots of things. January's meeting is scheduled for the 27th. We have 8 cases scheduled. We're filling up March already, believe it or not. Just a reminder to all the people in Margate that you are responsible for shoveling your own sidewalks and to try to keep it clean. That's it for now.
Thank you, Roger. Jim, building department?
Just a quick story about Jim Catton. A couple years ago, he took over the noise control portion of it. He had to do certification of registering a device for a noise meter. Do you remember that, Matt?
Yes.
And one day he came to me, he goes, we're doing a noise control over at the Island House because of the noise that was going up there. And we were trying to find a violation or something, and it's 65 decibels as permitted in the commercial zone and the 10 o'clock and all that. But it was just the amazing way he would go about putting together that report, that he was so, I don't know what the word is, diligent. He made sure it was done correctly. But he was a good man. I truly liked working with the guy. The building department's busy. Rich brought up an interesting point. We're trying to research it, how many demolitions, if Margate is even in the top 10 in the state in demolitions per, I guess, capita in Margate compared to other towns. But we'd have to Oprah all the other towns to establish that information. I called the state. They don't have that number available. So, I mean, Rich, we can put the time in to try to find out, but I don't know if we can handle that. That's a lot of information.
they don't have it available yet, or they don't accumulate that?
They don't accumulate that.
Really? They used to do that, so I'm surprised. I certainly don't want you to do Oprah for that. But I would imagine we're in the top 5, not the top 10 in terms of number of demolitions. I've looked at that kind of information in the past when I was in Ocean City, and I know we were in the top 5 in Ocean City, and I'm sure you will be too.
I'll make one more call. I'll call up Lucky. I talked to Austin, and he kind of always is not very helpful. I'll call somebody else maybe on Monday.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that they record that. They may not have it up to date for 2021, but they might have 2020 data.
I think the number I saw in that communication was 71,
Right.
as opposed to what we had 60 last year,
Right.
and 89 new construction of homes,
Yeah.
89 permits for new construction.
Yeah.
I believe we're up about 25% from 2020, which was the
The
busiest
last
year.
strong year.
Yeah, we're 20 million above last year, and last year we were 20 million above the year before that.
It just proves how desirable a place the city of Margate is.
So we're around 86 million total number of, just in building permits, not counting municipal permits, not including street openings and all the other.
86 million?
62 million.
Oh, 62 million. Wow. Very good. Fred, you're
All
up.
is well.
Come
All
on.
is well, Commissioner, all is well.
We need a report.
That's the report.
Okay, thank you, sir. And Mr. Deeney,
All right.
our business administrator.
A couple of things. We we received notification yesterday from Jim Rotella ahead of the release from the state that we were successful in, as one of many municipalities, to receive grants from the state for recreation purposes. We received $50,000, which will go toward the improvements being made at the recreation fields, the playgrounds, and the track. I'm planning on using those funds if we can. If it's not designated specifically for the playground equipment, to help us be able to resurface that track that's there now that is not well used because of the way the surface that's on there now. So at any rate, that'll be part of our capital plan. We had a series of meetings over the last 2 weeks with regard to COVID. We've made a few alterations, not substantial, I don't believe, at this time, but we have closed down the Martin Bloom Pavilion for the month of January. Most of the activities that are there revolve around senior citizens, and those programs will have to be delayed till at least February. We've also stopped operating for at least a 2-week period the senior bus. Now that does affect a few people who use it for specific purposes like going to food stores. So we know who those people are, we believe, and we're making arrangements through our recreation department to be able to help those people out by making our own deliveries for them if they have their orders prepared. I also spoke to the fire department, to the chief, and if recreation needs any help, they volunteered to assist as well if that happens.
Great.
We're hopeful to get that bus back within a 2-week period, we'll see. The only other major change is that there's a hoops program that's very popular for disabled persons. That is not canceled, but it is postponed. It's going to be pushed ahead a few weeks. It's a 5-week program that we will still have, but instead of beginning it here in January, we'll probably be beginning it in February for 5 weeks. That seems to be a workable solution. If you're in city buildings, you must be masked at all times unless you're in a room entirely by yourself. If you are in city cars, except for emergency purposes or emergency service purposes, one person per vehicle in our cars. That's the report as it relates to COVID. We have had some employees, in addition to, unfortunately, Mr. Catton, that the chief mentioned, with COVID. There's one still in the police department that's out. The last I heard, there were 3 in the fire department that were out, but they're expected back within a couple of days. And there is one in City Hall is out, who's expected back in a day or two. That's the COVID status. Lastly, I want to hand out the latest update to our capital plan. We spoke about it a few weeks ago, right before the holidays. This is a revised edition that's reduced the amounts to some degree, but we still need feedback from the commissioners and from the department heads with regard to ways in which we can defer some of these projects till another year, or some input in terms of modifying, if there's any interest in modifying the amounts of money that we would raise. We have raised a pretty consistent amount of money each year for the last several years. In fact, it's very consistent. As you know, we're way well within our debt limit. So if there's some consideration for a project that you just can't defer, please let me know and we'll try to work that out. But I'd like some input from the commissioners in particular in terms of reducing this amount so that we have a dialogue about it. So I'll pass that out to you at the end of the meeting if that's okay.
That's fine. No insult to you gentlemen, but I saved the best for last, our clerk and our CFO. So Lisa, would you want us to go first?
Happy New Year, everyone. Year's off to a good start with snowstorm and COVID. Hopefully it goes, improves from here. Just to let you know, I'm in the process of closing out the year. I just finished reconciling the last of our numerous bank accounts prior to this meeting. I'll be working on that and should have it closed out hopefully by the early next week. I'll then be entering the temporary budget, and I will notify all the department heads when they're able to start purchasing. You know, by law, we're only allowed to authorize up to 26.25% of the prior year's appropriation, so just keep that in mind when you're spending until our 2022 municipal budget is finally adopted this year. So, you know, I thought that the first intro for our fee ordinance change was going to be on this meeting. However, it's not so our ambulance billing is changing. I reached out to Dan and hopefully, well, we need to introduce that for the next meeting, no later than that, because we're in the process of switching everything over. I don't really have anything else to report unless you have any questions. Stay safe, everyone.
Thank you, Lisa. Madam Clerk, you're on.
At this time, the clerk's office is running smoothly, and I have nothing new to report.
That's good news. I thank you all. So now we will go to the public. Ed Dennis supposed to come today?
Ed is another quarantine casualty.
Okay, all right, I wasn't aware of that.
Ed's report is on the back of everyone's
Yeah,
agenda.
I have it.
If there's any questions.
Okay, very good.
I
Anybody?
did receive in my office today the proposal, the bid packet for
For
the
city-
reconstruction of the
City Hall.
municipal building.
Okay. All right, so we'll move forward and open it up to the public. Anybody from the public would like to comment? Please, for the record, state your name and address. Happy New Year, sir.
Happy New Year's. Name's Dennis Gorniewski, 7702 Amherst Avenue. I'm here because I looked at your consent agenda for today, number 17 item. It says you want Ed Dennis to say that the project for the gutters and curbs are completed. That would be the project, I take it, for Amherst Avenue?
No, that's a
Okay.
curb and gutter is a total different program
Okay.
that covers from Coolidge Avenue to Fredericksburg, wherever we
That's
have
fine.
deteriorated curbs and gutters that are a hazard to the general public safety.
I was supposed to have my wall due to curbs that were put in, because I'm at Amherst Avenue project that's been over a year. And the wall was damaged. They sent somebody out a month ago to repair it, and all they did was slap some concrete on it, and the cracks are still there, a month later. Also, the paving job, I don't know if anybody from the streets department here went out and looked at it, but it's a disgrace. The asphalt that was used down there had little asphalt in it to adhere to the stones, so there's patches now of the actual street breaking up, especially in front of my house, which happens to be at the corner of North Delavan and Amherst, where it meets the old, meets the new.
What I will do is I will let Ed Dennis, our engineer, know. He will send his project manager out, look at the condition of the road. We have not paid for that part of the project as to date. They will not get paid until it meets our engineer's
Well,
satisfaction.
I would hope he comes out soon, because we have another snowstorm coming out again tonight. And the problem is, it's the side of the road, when they paved it, evidently they have a very poor grade of asphalt, because in front of my house, it's nothing but you can see stone. It's not asphalt covering the stones. So now the cars have been over there, the plows have been over it these last couple of weeks, and it's just literally tore it up.
Thank you for bringing it to
All
our
right.
attention. I will address it with Mr. Dennis in the morning.
And is there anything on this lawsuit with,
Our solicitor he doesn't have COVID, but he's out sick. He's been in contact and he's dealing with it. It's basically out of our hands and in the hands of the attorneys at this point. Yeah, that's true. I did hear that, yes.
because we haven't heard anything, as the homeowners that are affected.
Yeah, they have the former judge that's gonna, do the mediation with the lawyers, and so
Okay,
it's coming.
does he have all the claims, because there's been claims filed by lawyers and claims filed individually by people?
Well, I think this is just the attorneys. No, go ahead.
It's my understanding, sir, that the mediation is entirely related to the lawsuit. You asked about the lawsuit, that's why I answered it the way I had. There are several other claims, you're right, and you may be one of them.
I am one of them.
I don't believe you're in the lawsuit, I could be wrong. So the mediation is entirely for the lawsuit. The claims that other people have, including yourself, need to be resolved in the normal manner between the engineer and the contractor to the satisfaction of you and the people that were affected.
Okay.
So that's still in the process, because as we indicated, we haven't paid for the paving, and we haven't we're nowhere near closing out that project with the contractor. So
Look-
that's still before, that's our responsibility with
Look,
you.
you know that travelers, the people I deal with directly, have gone dark. They haven't responded back to emails or calls.
Well,
So the engineer you're referring to is Ed Dennis?
that's correct.
Okay, because Ed Dennis then needs to contact me, because at this point, I have a claim number with them, but they're not responding.
Okay, but whatever claim you have with them is not part of what we're going to resolve. We're going to resolve the claim that you have with us, which is probably the same one that you have with them. We're not going to deal with their insurance company. We're going to deal with the contractor directly. That's his insurance company. We're not going to pay him finally or close out this project until they're bonded, until we're satisfied that it's taken care of.
Okay, because again, there's like 6 or 7 people that are separate from the real estate. Okay,
That's correct.
Thank
All of
you,
those
sir.
have to be resolved.
all right, thank you.
Thank you. I see nobody else in public comment. Can we close public comment?
I'll make that motion.
Second?
Commissioner Amadeo?
Yes.
Commissioner Blumberg?
Yes.
Now we have public comment On resolutions only, with nobody in the room, I will ask to close public comment on resolutions.
I'll make that motion. We open it and close it.
And I'll second that.
Commissioner Amadeo?
Yes.
Commissioner Blumberg?
Yes.
Since we have no ordinances and no ordinances for adoption, before we go to resolutions, Commissioner, do you have any comments you would like to make?
I do not, thank you. Just Happy New Year to everybody involved.
And I would say the same thing, and I want to pay the compliments to both our fire department, and Public Works, and Mike McElroy on Wednesday that responded to a water break at Lucy that caused, thankfully, very little damage with what I was told from the response from the fire department and Public Works with the cleanup, and Mike with the electrical end checking out and making sure all the services were safe for work to continue. So that was another well-done job by our team here in the city of Margate. So with that said, Madam Clerk, it's your show.
Thank you. May I have a motion for resolution number 1-2022, authorizing bill payment and claims?
I'll make that motion.
Second?
Commissioner Amadeo?
Yes.
Commissioner Blumberg?
Yes.
May I have a motion for resolution number 2-2022, authorizing temporary budget?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second that.
Commissioner Amadeo?
Yes.
Commissioner Blumberg?
Yes.
May I have a motion for resolution number 3-2022, authorizing petty cash fund?
I'll make that motion.
Second?
Commissioner Amadeo?
Yes.
Commissioner Blumberg?
Yes.
May I have a motion for resolution number 4-2022, authorizing cash management plan?
I'll make that motion.
Second?
Commissioner Amadeo?
Yes.
Commissioner Blumberg?
Yes.
May I have a motion for resolution number 5-2022, authorizing establishing depository and signatories?
I'll make that motion.
Second?
Commissioner Amadeo?
Yes.
Commissioner Blumberg?
Yes.
May I have a motion for resolution number 6-2022, authorizing tax payment and rate of interest?
I'll make that motion.
Second?
Commissioner Amadeo?
Yes.
Commissioner Blumberg?
Yes.
May I have a motion for resolution number 7-2022, authorization of credit cards and credit card signatories?
I'll make that motion.
Second?
Commissioner Amadeo?
Yes.
Commissioner Blumberg?
Yes.
May I have a motion for resolution number 8-2022, authorizing cancellation of tax or utility overpayment and balances in the amount less than $10?
I'll make that motion.
Second?
Commissioner Amadeo?
Yes.
Commissioner Blumberg?
Yes.
May I have a motion for the consent agenda? In the consent agenda, we have pulled resolution number 13, 2022, and resolution number 14, 2022. So I would like a motion for resolution number 9, 2022 through 12, 2022.
I'll make that motion.
Second?
Commissioner Amadeo?
Yes.
Commissioner Blumberg?
Yes.
May I have a motion for the consent agenda consisting of resolution number 15, 2022 through 19, 2022?
I'll make that motion.
Second?
Commissioner Amadeo?
Yes.
Commissioner Blumberg?
Yes.
The floor is yours.
Thank
Commissioner
you.
Amadeo.
Great job, everyone. No executive session, so I will call, if nobody has anything other comments. Yes, sir, Mr. Deeney.
The recommendation from our internal COVID committee is that we also cancel the meeting 14 days from now on the 20th at the 3 o'clock workshop meeting. We combine it like we did today with the 4 o'clock meeting so that there's a lesser amount of time that we're all together here. But we will have the meeting like we have today here, but at 4 o'clock only.
Very good. Thank you for bringing that up.
Good by me.
No other comments? We'll call for adjournment.
I'll make a motion that we adjourn the meeting.
Thank you. Second?
Commissioner Amadeo?
Yes.
Commissioner Blumberg?
Yes.
Thank you all for being here.
Thank you.